Well, we are in my vanity gallery called Movie Inc. My name is Wim Jansen. I've been collecting for around 25 years, maybe. I started out with just a few singular pieces for my favorite director, and a few years later I started to collect in earnest. When I found out you could buy so much stuff on the internet. Well, it was kind of a huge candy shop, but I paid quite a lot of money for it. Well, there's no one favorite director, but if I have to choose, my top three of favorite directors are Michael Powell, Orson Welles, and Luis Buñuel. Those are my favorite directors. I like the more idiosyncratic people, the people who are not afraid to fail, and so often do. That's basically what I like. Well, I'm kind of stuck now. I think there's not. I do enjoy watching movies, also new ones, but I must say that there's not. I don't have the same passion for those kind of directors nowadays than of the older generations. I do like people like Martin Scorsese very much. I do like the Coen brothers very much, and I do like Miike Takashi very much. Kind of like all kind of new Japanese, Korean stuff. The urge and need to see movies was when I was, I think, 15 years old, 16 years old. In your formative years, as they say, and then I started watching movies in earnest. When I started, I wanted to collect everything. You know, it was basically the collecting thing, the collecting bug inside of you, which is the same thing why you want to see 8 to 9 movies a day, so that you can underline them in a movie encyclopedia. That's the same kind of collecting stuff. The thing that you want to tape all those 30s black and white American movies, even when they're bad, right, just because you have them in your video collection.
You're able to see them.
Yeah, exactly. And those things were for free. Oh well, movies aren't for free, but when you start collecting memorabilia, then you run into a market where there are other people also interested in it. So you step in another dimension of collecting, basically. In the let's say the US kind of style, it's you have a free sheet, you have a one sheet, that's half sheet, you have a set of lobby cards, you have a set of stills, and you have some added materials. Sometimes you have banners, sometimes you have streamers, mobiles, all kinds of stuff. But the main stock of post-publishing is the one sheet. It's the one sheet, the free sheet, the half sheet, and the lobby cards. And they were used inside cinemas. And then you have the larger pieces. You have 6 sheets, you have 24 sheets. And 24 sheets were used outside on billboards, so they're not specifically for movie theaters. But those are kind of rare. And they use another kind of format. They have the so-called quattro folio, which is Italian for 4 sheets. Then they have the main size is the duo folio, that's it's 2 sheets, and then they have sets of so-called fotobustas, which are varying sizes, which are a quarter of a poster like this. No, they are not. The French sizes differ again. Australian sizes differ again. In Europe, it all depends on the size of the paper that's available in presses, of course. So we tend to have in Europe the European system. I'm not sure what it's called. I think it's a grade of ISO grade. I'm not quite sure what it is. And so you have an A0, an A1 and A2. So you do see that German posters or French posters are using that size of paper, as their sheet for the different sizes of movie posters. I remember it very well because I bought 2 posters. There are 2 Dutch posters from Michael Powell movies, of course. That was already, I think that was in the 80s. I think those 2 posters I bought 10 years before I really started to collect. And it's the Dutch poster for Black Narcissus and the Dutch poster for the Red Shoes. And I bought them in a shop in Amsterdam. Yes, and I also bought a few stills from some of the directors that I liked. But it wasn't real collecting because I did not know yet that you could acquire so much stuff for so little money. I always expected its prices to be very, very high. And when I started collecting in late 90s and used the internet, there was a lot of available. Maybe I paid too much for it, but it was affordable anyway. They weren't the sky-high prices that I imagined it would be. It is very small. Yeah, its main trade is outside Holland, which is there's not really a tradition of movie posters here in Holland. Where there is a tradition in other kind of posters, in design posters, or fashion posters, or political posters, but it's just now we don't have a lot of interesting designers. After World War II, that is. Before World War II, we had quite a lot of nice posters. And outside, younger people who collect tend to come from places like the United States, Germany, Australia. Those are some upcoming countries like Argentina, Brazil is coming up. And those are, and especially countries where there's a real tradition of enjoying movies and the theatrics of movies. For example, in Italy, there are still a lot of collectors because they just love, I don't know, just love to put paper on the wall and be dramatic about it, being theatrical about it. Lately, it's been a bit of a hassle because eBay has kind of spoiled the market first, and now it's poisoning the market because there's a lot of reproductions. People who sell posters or put posters on the internet, ask for an offer, and then suddenly they pull the poster from eBay because they have another offer from somebody outside. It's very unpredictable, and I really don't have the time for it anymore. And when I started out, I could spend hours and hours on eBay, and nowadays I just can't bother to do that. So. And mainly because of collecting quite a long time now, I go to fairs to pick up stuff that I didn't expect I would pick up, or I buy directly from other dealers who have special stuff that they sell. Yeah, I enjoy that. I enjoy that. I really like to buy lots from auctions somewhere or from sales and not know what's inside, and just have a gamble. It's some kind of a gamble, and I know the description of 20 European posters from the 1960s, for example, and then I put in a bid, and not too much because there could be crap, of course. But then I get a box, and I don't know what's inside. That's one of the best things, the best things for me to have. I like the feel of posters. I like to see. I don't like the smell. Maybe that would be going too far. But I like to handle posters. I like to put them up. I don't like to have them in a box somewhere and know that they're there. I like to do some stuff with it. I like nice designs, but it's not. I don't need to have every design of every kind of movie. I like to be eclectic and have a lot of stuff from a lot of periods from the 20s until the 90s or the noughties. Like I have Italian posters, Japanese posters, French posters. I don't mind. It's all nice. It very much depends on the on two things. You have availability and desirability. If a poster is rare, it will increase in price, but it also has to be desirable. For if you have some kind of movie which is not very popular, which does not have many stars, and which is not a particular niche kind of movie, but a straight-on movie. It can be as rare as possible, but it still won't make a lot of money. And desirability depends on many factors, but the movie, not every movie star, for example, is desirable, but there are Marlon Brando posters for sale for $10, 15. Streetcar Named Desire will set you back a few thousand. So it's not only the actor, but it's a combination of a particular movie or a particular pose which has been struck in a movie, which is depicted on a poster. So there's no real. It's not easy.
So basic supply and demand.
Yeah, basically it's supply and demand. Well, mint does not exist in movie posters because it's from the time it gets handled from the paper press, it's been used and it's not mint anymore, and they don't laminate it as far as I know when it's coming from the press. So mint does not exist, but of course if a poster is in a better condition, and then it earns more money. Every poster used to be folded straight at the presses because they were sent in boxes as folded, so it was very unusual to have unfolded posters.
Okay.
So rolled posters is a thing that started somewhere in the 90s. There are posters known from before that, from the 80s and 70s, but they're kind of rare, which are not folded and were rolled in tubes. That's the way how they're distributed nowadays.
Right.
But you can safely say that everything before the 1960s was supposed to be folded. So that's your natural state of a movie poster. At the moment it's the German free sheet for Metropolis, Fritz Lang, which fetched last time on a proper sale $850,000. And in the last sale it was sold together with 20 other high-end posters for I think 1.2 million, something like that. So that's easily the most valuable posters. Then you have your big Universal monster posters, Dracula, Frankenstein, the original, the first movie of every series. King Kong is always big. Horror movies attract a special kind of audience, and the designs are much more spectacular than your regular drama. How important it might have been in a movie history, but from a collector's perspective, it's the combination again. And Boris Karloff, BelleOog are quite iconic in the memorabilia, not only movie posters, but all kinds of stuff. And like all stuff in life that you enjoy, things change as well. When I started out collecting, I really did not mind what I got. I wanted as much stuff as I possibly could get my hands on. And then you have an eye on for your favorite directors and your favorite actors, actors and actresses, and then it changes because with the stuff you get, you realize that there's other stuff as well, and so you get an eye for design. And I started out and I wanted as much American posters as I wanted. Then I had a phase that I liked as many Italian posters as I could find. And nowadays I'm happy to say that I've got it a bit under control, and there have to be something special about a poster for me to enjoy it, and it really doesn't matter anymore whether it's an American or an Italian poster, or if it's my favorite actor or my favorite director. It's more now that it's something that I haven't seen before, or for example these exhibits that I give, that I get a bit deeper in understanding movies, and I find new ways to get me interested in movie posters, basically. So now I've bought posters for this exhibit that I would not have bought a few years ago. There are a few posters which I'm sure I will never get.
Why? Because they're custom?
Because they're too rare and too expensive. For example, there's an Invisible Man movie posters from the early 30s, a teaser, which is an entire black poster with a kind of glowing skull-like face, which I do have a reproduction from, which I really enjoy, but I'm pretty sure I will never get it.
With the glasses on, or?
Yeah, no, it's just a skull-like face with burning eyes. It's
Okay.
if I can find it, I maybe I can show you the reproduction that's made for it. There are posters which are probably not feasible, but with a bit of luck, with lots of money, I might get them. I really like the Italian duofolio for A Matter of Life and Death from Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger, which is one of my holy grails, you could say, which you probably won't get, but that I really would like. And there are, well, sometimes you see posters. I've bought together with somebody else another shop, a movie poster collector. I bought a Dolce Vita Quattrofolio, which is, well, a poster which in normal circumstances you probably would not get, but because we pooled our resources, we could buy it. And the only sad thing about that is that it's supposed to that we sell it again, because
Right.
that's a piece which we think, well, we could get some value from, but that's really not why I buy posters, or in the first place, or why I do have this exhibit space, because it's more to get my habits under control and to show other people that they're nice stuff.
Right.
And that you can watch it, and that you can maybe buy it for less money than your regular IKEA canvas, and that you can pick up in your store. And I enjoy that when I sell a poster for 15 euros for somebody who's just come here in the neighborhood and needs something on his wall. And that I like very much to do, and then I don't mind parting with posters. But what I say that it's a bit of therapeutic thing as well, because I really need to sell some of my posters because I just have too many, and I've already trouble in storing them, and if I get any more, it will be virtually impossible to get rid of them. Well, yeah, there's a strong movie poster. There are a few forums on the internet, which is very nice and very enjoyable to read, but it's not really. It has its bad sides as well, because there's a place where you see a lot of movie posters you never thought of wanting, and suddenly you see them and you think, well, hey, I'd like to have one of those. There are also very knowledgeable collectors. They're probably the most knowledgeable collectors around, so they know which is good, what is a good price and what is not. So it's not really, well, they're hobby collectors. That's very nice, but it's not commercial, very attractive. But because I probably have bought these posters from the same price as they could.
Right.
So, and I'm afraid not. I've tried. They are interested in a few movie posters. They are very into the Japanese Godzillas and anime kind of thing. So I try to slowly poison them with my collection habit, so that they all, so they can take over my collection. So I don't have to sell them at once. But we'll see. No, not really. I have a card. I haven't used it in 4 or 5 months, I think. I try to go to movies when there are special festivals around, like the Rotterdam Film Festival. I enjoy that a lot. I see quite a few movies. And then when I'm here or working or busy with my posters, I put on a DVD. But if I see, well, it still happens that I see 3 or 4 movies a day. So I'll yeah. But to be perfectly honest, I don't watch them in complete concentration. There are times that when I'm not really gripped immediately by the movie, then I start to do other things as well. So yeah, usually my gallery is open on a Saturday. But for special exhibits, I have special opening hours. For example, I have now this exhibit from Imagineering of Psychotic Women, and that's parallel to the Imagine Film Festival. The address is de Palmdwarsstraat 40 in Amsterdam.